Hi everybody, as I'm here, your transformation coach and founder of Heal the Heart, I empower you to achieve mental and emotional clarity, find your purpose, and take actions toward living a happier and more fulfilled life. This is another video from the Bits of Inspiration series where women come to share their stories with the hope that they can inspire and empower other women. Today we are joined by Phillis Stacy-Brooks.
Hello.
Thank you, Phyllis, for being here.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Phyllis is a single mother.
That's correct.
Of 3 amazing boys, and what she does as her career is she's a branding and online marketing specialist.
That's right.
Phyllis is here to share her story and talking about that, how thinking outside the box and thinking creatively in any given situation helps you to get through the situation regardless what that is. So I cannot wait to hear her story and her advice and sharing it. Thank you.
You're very welcome. I'm happy to share this, and I hope it does help women to get through a situation. The first instance that I'm going to talk about is being a single mom and moving back to Santa Clarita with absolutely no business, starting from having Main Street graphics business whose clients included Lexus and Toyota and Honda, to going to absolutely nothing. And instead of giving up, which I was seeing a lot of people doing in a variety of different ways, I chose to change my business format. And instead of offering a logo for $2,500, I took a logo for $250. Instead of doing large projects, I did small projects, and I did a lot of them, and I just kept moving. And a lot of people said, "Why are you doing that? You're worth so much more." And I said, "Thank you very much. On the other hand, I have a family that I want to feed, and this is how I get by." Fortunately, it's been, I don't know, I've been back 6 years, I think. And I'm now at the point where my logos are not $250 anymore. But I persevered, and I guess what I'm trying to point out is that you have to think outside the box. You have to decide what's important. And if you love what you do, which I do, I am so in love with what I do, that if I want to keep doing it, I need to change. And I think if you're rigid,
That is the point.
you're
Yes.
you're not going to get through it.
It is being open to see different possibilities.
Exactly.
And what you said, not to be rigid, not to be stuck in your own way. And I'm going to use the E word, ego, not to let your ego from all this success stop you from actually living the life that you need to do at that point, and everything you need to do at that point.
That's correct.
In order to survive.
Right.
Yeah.
And the beauty of it is that I was able to raise my twins, and I was able to drop them off at school. I was able to pick them up. I was able to go to their baseball games and basketball games and tennis tournaments because I became flexible. And I maybe had to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, but I got up at 3 o'clock so I could do all that I wanted to do
Because
with my
it was
family.
necessary for you to make those adaptations and those changes and be flexible in order to meet the need of your kids and you at that point in your life.
That's correct.
That's awesome. So I also know that I'm assuming you're going to share that too. Some health issues that yes. Okay.
It's been about 2 years. I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I've had a lot of people tell me it hasn't hit you yet, but it did. I just opted not to wallow in it. I moved on and I had my everyday life as normal. I worked every single day. I did not miss one day of work. Even with the mastectomy, I worked in the morning before the surgery, and then I did not work after it, but the next day I was on answering emails. There's two reasons why I did that. One, because I didn't want to lose my clients, but two, I didn't want to let it win. I didn't want to give it that power. I needed to show it that it wasn't going to get the best of me. And it didn't. It didn't.
Yeah. And just to point out, knowing you and knowing this disease, it is not something easy to go through. Actually, when you hear that phrase, it's like your whole world shatters.
It's true.
We have a choice, and as people, as women, we have a choice to let it get to us and stop us from living the life that we have always imagined we could, or like yourself, say, okay, it is here, but I'm not going to let it get me down.
No.
I'm stronger than this. I can beat this. And you are doing it. And
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I am.
Yes. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, as part of this conversation, what is your message to people who are hearing this, whether it is, going through a divorce or an illness or another challenging situation? What are you hoping that those who are watching to learn from your message, from your story?
I think the biggest thing, and it's the hardest thing, is, and I hope it doesn't sound cliche, but you need to think outside the box. And that's what I do for everything that I do. One small example is that about 4 years ago, I was sitting in my apartment and I realized that if I didn't do something right then, I would be renting and not being able to retire for the rest of my life. I immediately thought about what can I do? And I thought outside the box. As much as I love Valencia, I'm like, that's not going to work. So I started looking at alternative situations. And it took me to Bouquet Canyon. It took me to, Grass Valley or Green Valley. And it took me to Fraser Park.
Yes.
And
It's beautiful.
yes, it is. It is. I'm very lucky. But I was able to buy a cabin 4 years ago. It's not inexpensive now, but it was inexpensive 4 years ago. And I was able to buy a cabin, and I'm happy to say the cabin is now paid off in 4 years. You have to think outside the box. If you want something, you have to look at the bigger picture and realize that's not going to work. What will work for me? And be creative. I mean, who would have thought that I would have moved to I didn't even know where Fraser Park was 4 years ago. But the point is that if you have to be brave enough to not listen to other people, because some people did say, "Oh, what are you doing?" And I thought, it's okay for you, but for me, this is what I want.
It's not. It's like it's not enough to listen and battle this critical voice in our head. Are those who love us, out of their love, they try to discourage us because they feel it is not right. It is, and the thing is, if it's not right for them, doesn't mean that it is not right for us.
Right.
And the other thing I wanted to also, as you were talking, I wanted to mention was that if you do the same thing the same way over and over again, nothing is going to change.
Nothing is going to change.
If you want change, you have to look outside the box and be creative with the possibilities that are in front of you and choose the best possible way that fits your situation.
That's correct.
And I'm not discouraging anybody from not listening to friends and family and those
not
who
at all.
have something to say, but also there we also have options. We have a choice. We decide what information we can take in and what information is not appropriate and right for us.
Right.
And that is the only way we can make the best decision.
That's correct. So I listen to what everybody has to say, but when it comes down to the final decision, it's what's right for me. It's what's
Exactly.
right. And of course, I've made mistakes, but I'm so happy in my cabin.
It's really not making a mistake. It is feedback. It is life giving us feedback that you could do this differently. How can you look at it? How can you improve it next time if a situation like this comes up? It's because if I take it as feedback, I can swallow it better.
Right.
But if I take it as a mistake, it is like, oh, I can't do it anymore because I made a mistake. And some of us are get stuck in that place because we think if we made the mistake once, we're going to make it again. And not necessarily true.
That's true.
Yeah. So, one last word, if you were going to share.
Be brave.
Be brave.
Be brave.
Thank you so much. Oh, go ahead.
No,
I'm sorry.
Be brave. You can do it. I would say 98% of the time, there is a solution.
Yes.
There
yes.
is a solution for everything.
Exactly. I agree with you there. Thank you so much,
You're very
Phyllis, for
welcome.
being here. I really appreciate you sharing your story. And I'm hoping that those of you who are watching these videos, if you have a story and you're ready and willing to share to inspire and empower other women, please contact me at azamirelian@healtheheart.com. And these videos can be viewed at healtheheart.com blog post. Take care and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.